Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my art journey. My name is Mr. Salt and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying healthy during these times. And let's get right on into the video. So for a little bit of background, I came across another video. It was an interview of the one and only, you guys know, he has crazy imagination, a crazy fisheye lens perspective, and the visual library of a god. I think everybody really wants to be him. I know I strive to be like him. Yes, Kim Jung Gi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. But yeah, I was watching this interview and he was basically going over what he thinks about when he's going about drawing a scene. And since I'm not at his skill level, nowhere near it, I decided, hey, how can I simplify this and bring this down into the skill level of beginners and novice like myself? You know, for now, novice for now. Listen. That's what we're gonna do in today's video, and hopefully you guys get some type of value out of it. But before we begin any of that, we have to get to the drafting table and get our hands nice and warmed up. And for the first warm up I want you guys to do is hit that subscribe button. You know I had to do it. And hit that like button if you are already subscribed, and I appreciate everybody for viewing this video. All right, let's go ahead and start warming up. If you guys need any ideas for warm-ups, I do have a video on my top favorite warm-up exercises, and I will have a card in the description for that, so we can go ahead and get right into it. Go ahead. I'll just be using a regular big pen today, and I'm just gonna speed through the warm-ups because you guys really don't need to see that, but I'll just be doing some basic hand mechanic exercises. So let's get right on into it. Warm-ups are done, and this is a different sketchbook. I actually just completed that sketchbook, or filled it out. That's my not daily, but my practice sketchbook. So let me know if you guys actually want to see a sketchbook tour. And all right, for this exercise I did end up switching pens. This is a Stabilo 0.88 0.4 millimeter. It's just a black felt tip pen. It's actually one of my favorites at the moment, so it feels really good, really responsive. So this is what we're gonna use for it. Before we even get started, I do recommend that you at least understand the very basics of perspective, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, just the basics, and like the horizon line, etc. That'll actually help a ton. The first thing you guys want to do is draw a box, and make sure you draw through the box so you can see the inside and the dimensions of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll see you guys once I get that done. We have our box. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It doesn't have to be 100% to perspective. You guys can, it's just an exercise, so hopefully you guys won't be too stressed out about that. So once we have the box, now it's time to place a couple items in. So for this particular exercise, we're just gonna stick with the basic four different geometrical objects. So we're only gonna stick with these 4 geometrical items, and we're just gonna place them in different positions inside of this box, right? And it's really up to you. You can pick and choose. Okay. So I was able to place my sphere, cylinder, cone, and cube all within this box. And then just for a bonus, I'm actually going to put a random plane on one of the walls of the boxes. Now that we have all of our geometrical objects within this box, we're going to want to have a light source, and the light source is really going to be important just so we can really understand the space that we're in. So you can just pick and choose where you want to put a light source and then shade each one of your geometrical objects accordingly. So me, I'm a lefty, so for some reason I kind of gravitate to a light source somewhere here. So I'm gonna beam down so I know, and it could just be a rough estimate of where you think shadows would be, because I haven't 100% grasped light and shadow myself, so this ought to be interesting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shade things for the sake of shading them. All right, it doesn't have to be extremely detailed, just basic shadows, basic cast shadows from the light source. And now we have our environment set up. So the point of this exercise is to really imagine yourself in the room. Actually put your imagination and put yourself in the perspective of each one of these geometric objects. Now, if you are a better artist and you want to go a bit more detailed than just the basic geometrical objects, be sure to do that, because if you can go a bit more detailed and you want to challenge yourself more than just the geometrical objects, feel free to do so. However, for this particular demonstration, I'm just going to stick with these 4 basic geometrical objects, and then the goal is to pick each one of the objects and create a bunch of thumbnails, right? Within the thumbnail, we'll be able to see from the point of view of whichever object that you choose. For example, we choose the cone, and I want to show the cone looking in this direction. We're going to create a thumbnail in which we're in the cone's perspective and we're looking this way. This will really start having you understand the space that you're working with, and really start teaching you how to shift your perspective and see things from different angles. I'm actually going to start with the cone here, and we can just go ahead and make a thumbnail, and it doesn't have to be something super extravagant, and you can title this cone's perspective or whatever, right? And I'm actually going to show the cone looking dead on, right? So what I'm thinking here is, if we're looking at the perspective, it looks like a couple observations that I've made already. It looks like the sphere and the cone are about the same size, right? And the cylinder looks a bit taller than the cone, right? So let's say if the cone was looking at both of these and its eye level is here, I don't think it'll necessarily see too much of the A. So we're just gonna go ahead and draw a perspective in which we see things from the cone's point of view. So I'm gonna start off by drawing the horizon line here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start placing items. So I do believe if we're looking at the cone, we should be able to see a bit of the wall here. So I'm just gonna have a line here just to tell myself that this is the corner of the wall. And then I'm gonna go ahead, and it looks like the sphere will be sitting somewhere close on the horizon line. So I'm just gonna try and draw that. And then the trick here is to actually draw the cast shadow as well, so we can orient ourselves better within this space. So what I'm going to do is draw cast shadow of what I see. The cast shadow goes a bit up like that, right? And now I see this cast shadow is actually touching the cylinder, so I'm also going to draw the cylinder here as well. And I know for sure the cylinder is a bit taller than my sphere, and I don't think I'll see much of the top of that. And then my corner line is actually a bit off here, so I'm gonna put that here and then do some corrective measures and then bring the wall, I feel like the wall somewhere here. And then we're going to draw the cast shadow touching the wall as well, just so we can orient ourselves a lot better in that space. And that's my first thumbnail. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and switch to another object. This time I'm gonna go for this A that's sitting on the wall. And the A is going to be a little bit harder because you're introducing the bird's eye view. So 3-point perspective is a little bit harder. So if I was looking straight ahead, but I'm gonna actually change the view where the A is kind of looking down. So I wanna actually see, I think I'm gonna see basically the entire room. And if we look at these lines, if I was in the A's position, things will look like it'll be in 1-point perspective because everything is basically dead on. And I actually don't think I'll see the sphere or the cone because they're actually sitting on this wall here. So what I'd actually see is not the sphere and the cone, but the sphere and the cylinder. But what I actually see is the cone and this cube off in the back corner of the room. So I'm gonna actually try to gauge the distance as well, while also keeping the position correct as well. So if I was the A, the wall, I put the wall somewhere here, right? Right now I'm just filling things out. I put the wall somewhere here and here, and then I'll bring this up here. And then I'll darken my thumbnail just to bring the picture plane a bit closer to me. Right? And now I'm gonna have to be able to turn or view this cone from a 3-point perspective in which I actually see the top of it. The same thing with the cube as well. So I'm actually going to start off by drawing the cube here, and I think the cube is a little bit off from here. So it's going to be something. Right now I'm just filling it out. I see it's kind of close to this wall here, so I want to make sure I get that as well. And we know for sure it's going to be in 3-point perspective because we're looking down somewhat on this cube here. And then be sure to draw your shadows as well. I actually think I got the shadows wrong on this one. This should still keep this light consistency here. So that's actually a mistake on my part. And this should be a little bit lighter because I know the light's coming in this way. So I think a bit of the light may hit the side of the cube. But mistakes happen. And then I'm gonna try to find my way into finding this cone here. So if I trace downwards, I know there should be some shadow here, and I think I want to put the cone somewhere here. So what I'm gonna do is try to figure out where exactly to put the cone, and I'll say we can put that here. And then looking at the shadow as well, if the light's coming in from this way, then we're gonna have to bring this shadow back somewhere here, then bring that just to give it a bit more volume, and boom. So I'm gonna say this is A's perspective. So it's a lot of different mental and visualization exercises that you have to do with this. You have to feel what you have to be able to feel the space that you're in while also twisting and turning different geometrical shapes within this given space. So that's why I really felt like this was a very good exercise. And yeah, we can go ahead and do one more. I think let's do the cylinder perspective. So we're gonna do one more thumbnail and try and see what can we get with the cylinder perspective. And that is my cylinders perspective. And yeah, so that's basically the exercise, and hopefully you guys try this out yourself and you really start doing this. You really start getting the feel and putting yourself within the room in which you're working with, or the space that you're working with when you're drawing. And it's so far it's helped me a ton after I've already been doing this a bit, but seeing Kim Jung Gi do this, I was like, how could I simplify this? So this was basically a short exercise that I came up with after watching that interview. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I hope you took any type of value from it. Leave a comment on if you tried this or not and how you feel about it. But yeah, and also if you guys want to see a sketchbook tour of what my other practice and my practice sketchbook looks like, leave a comment below saying show me. I appreciate everyone for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Yeah, good clean first page of my sketchbook. See you guys.